I ran in 2020 for the same exact seat for Congress, and I got away with it then.
There was breaking news in the saga of George Santos. So the feds arresting the Republican congressman on more than a dozen criminal charges just moments ago.
Republican Congressman George Santos has been arrested on a 13-count indictment, federal charges. So in this video, I'm going to break down what these charges are. I'm going to discuss whether or not this means prison time. I'm also going to discuss whether or not Santos will finally be forced to leave Congress. That answer may or may not surprise you. And then a trip down memory lane of all of his lies, at least the ones I could find, because there's too many of them. So first here, just this wonderful headline from the AP. U.S. Representative George Santos arrested on federal criminal charges. So this little video here, I just want to, before I get into anything else, I want to remind you of this. This is back in February. I covered this because it was so wild. But here is George Santos discussing his many lies.
Did you not think people would find this out?
You know, Pierce, not after
You're not running to be like a reality TV star.
No, I understand.
Right? You know, if you were going on Celebrity Apprentice, which I went on, right? It doesn't matter. You can embellish stuff about yourself. Nobody cares, right? But to run for Congress of the United States and to just tell blatant lies about even your academic record, I'm just struck, not necessarily that a politician would lie, but that you would think no one would find out.
Well, I'll humor you this. I ran in 2020 for the same exact seat for Congress, and I got away with it then. And I guess...
Right. Well, that's honest.
Stupid.
So you thought, actually, they're not going to find out?
No, I didn't think so.
I got away with it then. Well, not this time, George. If that is your real name, and it's not, his name's also Anthony. His name's also, I think it's Qatari. He has like 4 different names. This guy is just completely insane. Finally, someone in a real position of power, while they are in power, has faced some repercussions. You know, he's not yet behind bars, but this is something. This is a rarity, but it's something. So here is what he did. The charges against the New York's 3rd District Representative include 7 counts of wire fraud. 7 counts of wire fraud. 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives. So it's not yet clear what these false statements are, but only 2? I think you could have found a few more. But they go on to write here, Santos' arrest comes a day after federal prosecutors announced that he has been charged by the Justice Department over questions regarding his 2022 campaign and finance activities. And I'll get to the statement from the U.S. Attorney in a second here. But this is also amazing. The indictment says Santos induced supporters to donate to a company under the false pretense that the money would be used to support his campaign. Instead, it says he used it for personal expenses, including luxury designer clothes, and to pay off his credit cards. Like, you can't do that. How did you think? I mean, you know, I was gonna say, how did you think you would get away with it? But as he said, he got away with it before. This guy is a lifelong pathological liar. He's gone through life like this, getting away with it. So he figured, well, he could do it again, but this time, no. So prison time. This from Kyle Griffin. If George Santos is convicted of the charges against him, he faces a maximum prison sentence of 20 years on the top count, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York. So a top count or a max of 20 years. I would be surprised if he faces the max, but let's hope he gets something. Wait, come on. This is you know, a situation where they can't just let him go with a slap on the wrist. There's too much here. Now, the U.S. Attorney Breon Peace released a statement saying this indictment seeks to hold Santos accountable for various alleged fraudulent schemes and brazen misrepresentations. Taken together, the allegations in the indictment charge Santos with relying on repeated dishonesty and deception to ascend to the halls of Congress and enrich himself, which, by the way, he has already admitted to, as I showed you in that Piers Morgan clip. He used political contributions to line his pockets, unlawfully applied for unemployment benefits that should have gone to New Yorkers who had lost their jobs due to the pandemic, and lied to the House of Representatives. My office and our law enforcement partners will continue to aggressively root out corruption and self-dealing from our community's public institutions and hold public officials accountable to the constituents who elected them. I just got to comment on this last piece here because it is such BS. How many lawmakers work on behalf of their corporate donors? This idea that they are rooting out corruption, this is just the most extreme example. So they had to go after him because it is so brazen. But this corruption goes on a daily basis with the vast majority of them, at least at the federal level. So, which I guess you could argue, well, that's legal bribery. So legal bribery is okay. But it's still, in my mind, corruption and self-dealing. And the idea that these public officials are being held accountable to their constituents, I guess if their constituents are their massive corporate donors, but yeah, that's not the case. Now, this is also, just made me laugh. Reached out by the AP on Tuesday, Santos said he was unaware of the charges. He had to get one last lie in there. I mean, this was, the fact that it was leaked to the press last night, he had to have known it was coming, right? He had to. So he just got one last lie in there before it happened because he didn't want to speak on it, but just incredible. Now, can he remain in Congress? Yes. Can remain in Congress. He can. Because there are no standards, apparently. The charges do not, from a legal standpoint, affect Santos' status as a member of Congress. Nothing in the Constitution's requirements for congressional office bars individuals under criminal indictment or conviction from serving, except for the 14th Amendment prohibitions for certain treasonous conduct committed after a member has taken the oath of office. Under the formal rules of the House of Representatives, according to a Congressional Research Service report, quote, an indicted member may continue to participate in congressional proceedings and considerations. However, if a member is convicted of a crime that could result, still saying could here, that could result in a punishment of 2 or more years in prison, if they're convicted of a crime that could result in 2 or more years of prison, they are instructed, okay, here we go, some actual repercussions. They are instructed under House rules not to participate in votes on the floor or in committee votes. But I do wonder, they're instructed. That doesn't mean they're forced to leave. They're just told, under the rules that we have, that we never follow, this is what you should do. You should not participate in these votes. We'll see about that. McCarthy, when asked whether he would continue to stand by Santos, told CNN Tuesday his policy is that a member of Congress should resign after being found guilty of charges, and referenced former Representative Jeff Fortenberry, who resigned after being convicted of concealing information, making false statements to federal authorities. All right. So it's happened before. I do fully expect if he is punished, if he is put behind prison or put in prison, then he's not going to be able to be in his seat. That is what, even though the wording here isn't all that clear, I don't expect him to be around if he is in fact put behind bars. Last thing, let's just quickly summarize some of the lies as quick as I can. This is the week's breakdown, but there are other breakdowns that probably mention other lies because there are so many of them, but these are the major ones. So these are all lies. He attended an elite prep school. Lie. Graduated from college. Lie. A star in the college volleyball player, as a volleyball player that he attended, apparently. Of course, a lie, because he was never at the college. Worked at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. A lie. He trashed Goldman Sachs at a financial conference as an employee of Goldman Sachs. Lie. So this lie is comical to me because it's a lie upon a lie. This lie is predicated on the idea that he even works for Goldman Sachs, which he doesn't. But he makes up a whole story about him going and trashing the company because he speaks truth to power, George Santos. And trashes them here, but he doesn't because he was never at the company. Helped to develop carbon capture technology. Lie, obviously. Founded an animal rescue charity. Lie. Didn't swindle a disabled vet out of money to save a dying dog. Lie. He did do that. He owns property. Lie. He's half black. Lie. He's Jewish. Lie. His grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Lie. He lost employees in the Pulse nightclub shooting. Lie. His mother was a financial executive. Lie. His mother died in the 9/11 attacks. This one is probably my favorite in terms of how absurd these lies are. Lie. Like, anyways, I've gone off on this point, but to lie about that, there is no limit to what you're willing to do. I like how they include this one. Him saying he's not a criminal. A lie, because he has, in fact, been convicted of a crime before these new crimes. Wasn't a drag queen. A lie, as I covered at the time. Voted against the House Omnibus Bill. This is amazing because this was a lie he claimed on January 4th that he voted nay on the House Fiscal 2023 spending bill. He wasn't even in Congress yet. He claims he voted no on a bill that he would not physically be able to vote no on. I think this is the last one they have here. Yeah, so I will link to that below in case you want to read through any of these yourself. I'll link to it under sources on YouTube. Just incredible. Absolutely amazing. I guess we're going to see. If there's a video of him being arrested, I think he turned himself in. But if there's a video of anything of that sort, I will include it somewhere in this video. But I just want to see where this all goes. Because right now, this is highly enjoyable.